Cloud Interview Questions, an initiative by Cloudwati. So we have seen the compute and storage services. The last left basic building block is network. So today we are going to see about the network services. And a network is one of the backbone of the cloud computing because using network only we will be able to connect across like different resources. When we create a network, there is going to be multiple resources like your front end must communicate with the back end, right? Not just that, right? We talked about hybrid model where we have an on-premise and we have a cloud computing, right? So to communicate or to connect that on-premise with the cloud computing in a hybrid model, we may have to use a network, right? Or if I want to expose my application to the internet, right? I have to create a public IP address, and now the end users must reach out to that IP address and they can access our application, right? This is also possible only with the help of our network, right? In Azure, we have the network component is called virtual network, right? So the virtual network is the basic like building block of our private network. So using this building block, we will be able to restrict the connection. We can open or close the ports. We can allow certain IPs. We can restrict them based on their geolocations, right? So this is the basic building block of our private network, and which basically enables the resources inside a resource group. So whenever we create a resource group, a virtual network will automatically create it. Or whenever you are actually creating a VM, it will by default it will create a resource group, it will create a VNet, it will create a disk storage, right? So whenever the resources are created, right, there will be multiple resources within the resource group, but to communicate with each other we need to have this virtual network being created. That is why immediately, so when you create a VM, right, the first thing that would get created is your resource group. After that, immediately the VNet would be created, right, because it is required to enable communication between the resources that are present in the resource group, right? So if I spin off a VM again, so there would be a storage, there would be a network, there would be a compute. All these can by default the connection would be enabled only with the help of your virtual network, right? So the VNet basically enables the resources inside the resource group to securely communicate with each other. But is it limited only for that? No, right? Using the VNet, we can actually facilitate the communication also for the Azure from the Azure resources to internet. So I'm creating an application. I'm creating a cloud application in my virtual machine. Now it has a public IP address, right? So whenever an end user is launching that public IP address, then they should be able to access this VM right over the internet. So to facilitate this communication also we can use VNet. So VNet can help applications to get exposed to the internet. And the second thing is in some cases we have a resource group, we have a virtual network one, like it is the front end resource group, and there would be one back end resource group which is having the back end databases, right? So we will just expose front end to the internet, but we will not expose the back end to the internet, right? So this is how the communication will happen. So now this VNet one has can communicate with the VNet 2, right? So whenever you are signing up, the front end would be exposed, right? So you are entering your details and then you are clicking the sign up. Once you click the sign up, these details from the front end VNet would be captured and it would be communicated to the VNet 2 using a concept called VNet peering, right? So by using VNet, we can communicate within uh, the resources, Azure resources within a resource group, or we can even communicate to another resource group also, to the VNet in the another resource group. Or in third scenario, we can use it in a hybrid model as well. So we have all the sensitive and critical data in private cloud or an on-premise structure, and we have the non-sensitive data in our cloud storage. So we can connect both these networks. We can connect the corporate network with the Azure VNet, with the Azure cloud with the help of the VNets, right? So this is what an Azure virtual network does. To know more about Azure, so we have a certification training camp that has been launched. So for more details, kindly reach out to this number. Thank you.